So, Friday, I went to go see The Call, and it was intense. Honestly, I don't have a humorous clip for this movie because it was pretty intense / disturbing. So we're just going to go right to the Crave scale and talk about it. So first, story. The story is a 6 out of 10. Basically, it's about this 911 operator played by Halle Berry who essentially, what we gather from the trailer and what is true in the movie, causes pretty much a girl to die after the girl calls 911 because there's an intruder in her house. She has this nervous breakdown, obviously, anyone would, and she starts teaching people how to take 911 calls. She's like a trainer. Then Abigail Breslin gets kidnapped and she pretty much has to step in and save the day and kind of redeem herself. That's kind of the overall feeling you get anyways from watching her take the call. And overall, it's a good movie. I mean, Halle Berry has to employ these different tactics for the police to try to find Abigail Breslin because Abigail Breslin's on a burner phone, so she's really not able to be tracked. The sad thing though is pretty much you get all of the best parts of the movie in the trailer. Basically, we gather from the trailer that Abigail Breslin's kidnapper is a serial killer. He's the one who supposedly killed the first girl in the movie, and now he's got Abigail Breslin, and we don't know what's going to happen. Slight spoiler alert, I hated the ending. I'm pretty sure Richard Dovidia, the guy who wrote the screenplay and the story, died 3/4 of the way through the story, and they just tacked on an ending, because it doesn't fit the whole story. It just does not fit the ending. So going on to acting, acting's a 7 out of 10. I loved Abigail Breslin in this movie. She did an amazing job in this movie of maintaining that balance between freaked out of her mind, yet listening to Halle Berry on the phone and trying to get out of the situation, which is what most girls would do after they're calmed down. They wouldn't become all macho and try to get out by themselves, but they wouldn't be totally flipping out the entire time because they'd realize they have to do something. So it's a good balance. Abigail maintained that perfectly. Halle Berry did okay. Honestly, I haven't been a huge fan of her since Monsters Ball, but she did okay in this movie. I was not unimpressed by her acting. Lastly, I'm going to talk about Michael Eklund. I'm not even sure how to say his name because mainly he hasn't been in anything before, but he's the serial killer that captures Abigail Breslin and kills the first girl in the movie. And the dude is creepy! His face is pasty white and his hair is just really short and just coming out the top, really creepy stalker face. Overall, he fits the role. If I saw him on the street, I'd be that guy's gonna kidnap a little girl. Going on to number 3, music. The music is a 7 out of 10 because, well, it helped add to the suspense of the movie in situations that A, were suspenseful, but B, kind of cliche and you were expecting that to happen. The music just kept you going right through that scene into the next one and just kept you on the edge of your seat. John Debney is a really good composer. He's done lots of stuff. He did Iron Man 2. On a side note, he also did Emperor's New Groove, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, so that's a plus 2. The technical aspects is going to be the highest rating for this movie. I know I talk a lot about shots and cinematography, but there's just one thing about the cinematography in this movie especially that just blew my mind. The guy who was the director of cinematography, his name is Tom Yatsko, and I had no idea who he was, so I actually had to look him up. The dude's been a camera operator for almost his entire adult career. He's only been a director of photography for 2 movies, and this was his 2nd movie. And overall, it was very impressive, mainly because it kept you uncomfortable. The shots of the girls when they're captured are so close to their face that they had to use a slight fisheye lens on the camera to actually get enough of the face in shot. The best purpose of that shot, as far as I could tell, was that you could see the fear in the girl's eyes. That's why I liked Abigail Breslin too, because she was able to communicate fear with only this much of her face in shot. That takes talent. Rather than me give the message for this movie, I'd like you to comment below and tell me what you thought the message of this movie was, and tell me if you liked the ending. And I'm actually going to enter all the people who comment into a drawing to win a $20 iTunes gift card.